Okay, well, there's not much I can say about the Tommy Robinson case that Maya Tusi or Rebel News hasn't already said. But I'm going to read out the Rebel News article on the subject, and then I'm going to ask you to donate to his cause. All right, I'm Granny Opterix. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. Okay, if you haven't been keeping up to speed with Tommy Robinson, I suppose most people who would be watching this video have. But to recap, according to the Standard, Tommy Robinson has been jailed for 18 months for contempt of court after breaching a High Court order. The High Court order was as follows. He made a film. Tommy Robinson has been jailed after he repeatedly flouted a High Court order with false allegations against a teenage Syrian refugee. Now, this newspaper says they are false allegations, but if you watch the film, which is called Silenced, by the way, and is probably available on the internet wherever you are by now, you might make your own mind up about whether or not the allegations are false. But that's not the point. The British courts decided that he could not release this film, this movie, in Britain. And he did. And that was contempt of court, because he'd had a ruling that he shouldn't do that. Contempt of court is where you obstruct the process of justice. Well, he didn't do that. And a fair trial. Examples include physically interfering with the court process, threatening witnesses, or failing to obey a court order. And that's what he did. Now, they say if contempt is particularly severe, it could amount to a criminal offence. But in general, that would apply to stuff like physically interfering with the court process or threatening witnesses, not for just not doing something the court tells you not to do. However, so I don't know whether they've actually cooked this up so that what he's been convicted of is in the realms of being a criminal offence, or whether it's still a civil offence. But whatever, somebody like him is obviously not dangerous and should be in an open prison. Instead, he was put into, first of all, Belmarsh, which is a prison, when you hear that word, you think of the worst criminals in the country. But as a matter of fact, it's not for the worst criminals. The worst criminals are in Woodhill, and he was moved from Belmarsh to Woodhill without any sort of notice. I contacted Tommy's specialist prison lawyer. She says she was given no notice. In fact, the prison deceived her, booking an appointment for her with Tommy next week in Belmarsh. They tricked her and made their deceptive move on a Friday night UK time, of course, just in front of the weekend, when the courts are closed and there's likely nothing to be done until Monday. You know, this is not an accident. Woodhill does not have a safe zone like Belmarsh does. So the first thing Nicola Marfleet, the Woodhill prison governor, did was to put Tommy down the block, the nickname for the tiny punishment cells that prisoners are sent to when they're violent. Of course, Tommy didn't do anything to warrant that. And whether you actually agree with Tommy Robinson or his methods or his friends or what you perceive to be his opinions, he doesn't deserve this. If you have any sense of justice, you'll agree with that. If you have any common sense, you will realise that the government is trying to break this man's spirit, either trying to drive him into some sort of a nervous collapse or to get him interfered with in some way by the other prisoners, all of them in Woodhill being the violent type. According to Rebel News, the prison is more or less run by jihadist gangs. Even down the block, Tommy isn't safe. Other prisoners still have access to him in the guise of janitors and the like. So what Rebel News is doing is trying to help Tommy in the legal process. I've been in touch with both law firms, his long-standing lawyers at Carson Kay and his new prison law firm, Rees Thomas Watson. They're engaged and activated, but they pointed out that the prison's sneak attack decision to do this on a Friday night makes it impossible to respond quickly. They ask for donations, and I have put a link in the description. I have already donated, and I ask you, if you feel inclined to donate to me, you know, like buy me a coffee or something, as you'll see the outro of this video will invite you to donate to me. Don't do that. If you feel like making a donation, click the link in the description and or copy and paste it or whatever, and contribute towards Tommy Robinson's legal team. And I would ask you to do that simply because I'm so ashamed of what's happening here. I'm so ashamed of what's happening to my country. Right, well, yeah, that's Tommy Robinson. Let's hope we can save him. Okay, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.